5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, January 4th. Carl, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Councilmember Remley.
Present.
Ronayne.
Present.
Lunsman.
Present.
Reif.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer.
Present.
Rux.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with the approval of the agenda for this week's meeting. I understand that there's no adjustments to the published agenda.
Move to approve as is.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Rux. Carl, would you give me a roll call vote to approve this week's agenda?
Councilmember Remley.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we'll have the approval of the minutes for last week's meeting, the meeting of December 28th, 2020. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Lunsman and a second from Councilman Reinbold. Does anyone have any changes or concerns with it as it is printed? Otherwise, Carl, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. No one has signed up for our open forums. We'll move along to our consent calendar. Just one item this week, petition to rezone property as listed. Can I get a motion to approve our consent calendar item for this week?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Rux, second from Councilman Reif. Anybody have anything to contribute on this? Otherwise, Carl, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Remley.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye. Move along to new business. We've got a hearing on a transfer of retail on-off sale malt beverage in South Dakota wine license with video lottery from Dom Inc. to Moccasin Creek Casino, or at Moccasin Creek Casino, 4th Avenue to Wild Bill's Casino at South Wilson Street. Possible approval of this. I'll take a motion to make that transfer.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Rux, second from Councilman Lunsman. Does anyone have anything to contribute as it relates to this malt beverage and video lottery license? I like the name, Wild Bills. I think that'll be pretty good. I'm not a really gambler. Carl, go ahead and give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. We've got the review and approval of claims and payroll. We've got a list of bills posted here on January 4th, as well as payroll with the city's share of Social Security, old age, survivors insurance, retirement, health, and life insurance. Can I get a motion to make those payments, please?
So move to approve.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, a second from Councilman
Reinbold.
Carl, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Remley.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. We'll kick it over to Joe, who's got our city manager's report for the night.
Yes, thank you. Much like the agenda, it'll be a fairly short one, but kind of a follow-up to some of the questions and discussion last week on the COVID vaccination process. I spoke with both of our local hospital administrators The emergency managers are starting to have some discussions. This morning there was an email chain with city managers throughout the state on how this is going, and I think we're starting to see some information come forth. But it's pretty clear that a couple things. One, it's going to be a long process, and two, we're probably not going to be the forefront of administering these vaccines. So that's probably the good part. But Vera on their website has set up a great deal of resources. So has Sanford. And the best statement I can have that came from the Vera's resources is most people will not receive the vaccine for weeks or months. And when they do, will be determined by age and risk factors. So that's probably the best thing for the public. And also, so the state is putting out some information. I saw some commercials over the weekend, but on the covid.sd.gov website, they show the priority groups. There are 5 priority groups. I think as of now, they're in Group C. D will open it up to some of the more high-risk medical folks, and that's where some folks will probably start getting contacted by their healthcare providers and learning more. But the state is doing this directly to the healthcare providers. At this point in time, we've been told that have your pod plans maybe dusted off a little bit, but we're not really sure we're going to get to that point. So I think if we do, it'll be down the road a long ways on that. But that website, again, covid.sd.gov, that's got the best information. And the only information that we've gotten has come from there. So you'd have just last week I had some questions after the meeting about where are you finding this stuff. So you could have the exact same information that we're talking about. But there is progress going through those priority groups. And several folks are starting to say that they're hearing and seeing things about the vaccine. So, again, just wait patiently. Most of us will not hear anything for quite some time, but it doesn't mean that we know people are ready. But as the vaccination is produced and available within the state, they'll follow these priority lists.
Thank you, Joe. And I know that you were on the email chain about bookyoursite.com. Would you care to speak findings of that from our Parks and Rec department real quick?
On the campsites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this morning, this is my first year here, so sometimes you wonder what's going to happen when you see something. But over the last few days, the big news I kept seeing it was that the campsite reservation system will open on Monday. And I was like, well, that's nice. But I don't know if that's really big news. Well, I found out this morning it really is big news because within the first hour, there were close to 1,000 hits on the website. And of course, like most small websites, when that happens, it crashed for a little bit. So if you got booted out this morning, we're hearing that everything's working well again. It was just an overload. So if you are experiencing some difficulties with the site, maybe just log off, wait a little bit, and try it again. In the future, we believe we may go in with a smaller protocol, but now everything's open and functioning, and maybe the first morning jitters are out of the system, and most of the reservations have been made that we're going through that. But again, keep trying to access that system. We believe everything's fine at this point.
And Justin, from a technical this is a national website. We're one of the players on this thing. It's probably more a result of people's traffic from ever across the country, would you say?
Right, and it's hosted, I believe, by Amazon. The website is. So, I mean, it kind of goes back to their servers, but the way it was explained to me is we're allotted so much processing power and allocated stuff on the server. So, and you contract that out for the entire year generally. So if we wanted to increase that, we'd have to increase by quite a bit to handle that one morning, and we'd be paying that increased price for all year. So it's kind of, I hate to say a waste of money, but it's an expense that isn't normally needed because the website works fine 99% of the time, even greater than that. So, that's one option. Not a very good one, feasibly.
So the problem with the site wasn't the overall traffic to the national site, it was the bandwidth allocated to the Aberdeen specific traffic?
Right, at one point in time. Yep.
All right, so it sounds like you were kind of chasing down possible solutions to
Right.
rolling with those guys. So
Yep.
Hopefully it'll be smoother next year. Does anyone else have anything to add?
Just in reference, since it's that way every year, I don't think it's going to be smoother next year. So it's really because, and I really think that this is something maybe Parks and Rec should look at, is changing how they do it, because anyone can go onto the website that same day, and they used to have problems too with this when you signed up for, your summer activities, stuff like that. The system would crash because it opens today, so everyone goes that day and tries to get everything at the same time, and it just doesn't work. Granted, it's better than the long lines of people waiting the night before. But it is one of those things where this has been a continuous problem for years.
From my understanding, we've been using this platform. I think this is the third year. But you're right. That first morning, it gets bombarded. So staff was already this morning. Well, maybe do you limit it to the first few months of the year? Do you limit it to cabins? So I know they'll bounce some ideas around before next year. But it's good to know that people are excited about camping at Wiley Park. So that's a good thing to learn from this.
Thank you very much. Anyone else
Mr.
have
Mayor, I had one more question. Sorry.
Councilwoman Langer, what have you got?
Going back to the vaccine, just because I have to. So just to clarify, when we get to group D, which is obviously that higher risk, then the hospitals will be reaching out their primary care. Is that my understanding, to those people that qualify at that point?
That is all the direction I have seen, is that yes, you will, when it's your turn, if you are in that high risk group, you likely have a physician who's aware of that and should communicate that. That's the plan. How that exactly will happen, I don't know any more than that.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I clarify that so people don't feel like they have to continue to keep calling the hospitals, because I do know that they are still continuing to get calls. So thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, we will take a motion to move this meeting to executive session to discuss some personnel matters pursuant to SDCL 125-2.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronan and a second from Councilman Lunsman. Carl, would you give me a roll call vote?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Ronan,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye. Motion does carry. We will continue this meeting in executive session after we've had a moment to clear the room of people that don't need to be here.